Welcome back. In this lesson, we're going from zero to a running, documented API in just 4 lines of Python. That's it. Import FastAPI, create the app, decorate a function with a path, and return a dictionary. Run it with FastAPI dev, and you've got a live server with hot reload and an interactive docs explorer at /docs. By the end, you'll have shipped your first endpoint and understood every piece of it. So here's the roadmap. First, we'll break down the anatomy of a route: decorator, path, function, return. 4 independent pieces that snap together into one endpoint. Then we'll fire up the dev server with a single command and watch it auto-reload as we code. From there, we'll cover the 4 REST verbs: get, post, put, delete, each just a one-line decorator swap. And finally, we'll poke around /docs, the interactive Swagger UI you get for free. Let's start with the anatomy. Every FastAPI route is just 4 pieces, and each one does exactly one job. The decorator picks the HTTP verb and path. The function is your handler, its name, arguments, and type hints, and whatever you return gets auto-converted to JSON. Memorize these 4: decorator, path, function, return, because every fancy feature later is just a knob on one of them. Now let's actually run it. Install FastAPI with the standard extras once, then it's a single command: FastAPI dev main.py. That spins up uvicorn on port 8000, opens your docs at /docs, and, here's the magic, watches your file so every save restarts the server. The logs are clean too: method, path, status, color-coded. When you ship to production, you'll swap to FastAPI run without auto-reload, but that's a conversation for lesson 11. And that docs URL we just opened? It's not a toy. It's your entire dev tool belt. Every route shows up automatically, color-coded by verb, with the full request and response schema pulled straight from your Pydantic models. Hit, try it out. Fill in some JSON, and you've got a live request playground without ever touching Postman. Need to share a specific endpoint with a teammate? Deep link straight to it? Need a TypeScript client? The raw OpenAPI spec is one URL away. Now let's expand that one route into a full CRUD surface. Notice the pattern: same decorator syntax, just a different verb: get to read, post to create, put to replace, delete to remove. Each one maps cleanly to an HTTP method, and that matters because browsers, proxies, and caches all treat them differently. Pick the wrong verb and you break conventions everyone else relies on. And if you need partial updates or CORS preflight, patch and options are right there too. Here's where it clicks. Just return a Python value and FastAPI handles the JSON conversion for you. A dict works great early on. Lists become JSON arrays automatically, but the real win is returning a Pydantic model. It's typed, validated, and documented in Swagger for free. And when you need full control, like streaming a CSV or setting custom headers, drop down to response and shape the bytes yourself. Now let's level up with 6 reflexes that separate beginner code from senior code. Always type hint your return, so docs, MyPy, and client SDKs all benefit from one tiny annotation. Use plural nouns for collections, keep URLs lowercase, and declare specific paths like uusers or me before parameterized ones like uusers ID, because FastAPI matches in declaration order. Then group related routes with an API router prefix and tag them so Swagger UI organizes your docs into clean, collapsible sections instead of one giant list. Here's your pocket reference for everything we've covered. The top row is the full CRUD verb set: get, post, put, delete, and patch, paired with their intent. Below that, the 2 ways to run the app: FastAPI dev while you're iterating, FastAPI run in production. And on the right, the 3 free doc surfaces: Swagger at docs, redoc at redoc, and the raw spec at OpenAPI JSON, plus the 2 senior habits: tag your routes and type hint your returns. Screenshot this one. You'll come back to it. Now, before you ship, here are 5 things a senior will flag in your pull request. 1. Using the wrong verb, like post to delete. Match HTTP convention or you break caches and retries. 2. Hand-building JSON when returning a dict works and keeps your schema. 3. Declaring users, .id before users, me, which swallows the specific root. 4. Mixing sync calls inside async endpoints and blocking the event loop. And 5. Skipping the return type hint, which strips your docs of real shape. Catch these now, not in review. All right, time to actually build. 3 exercises, stacking on each other. First, create main.py with 3 routes, root, health, and version. Run it with FastAPI dev, and hit all 3 with curl. Second, add tags to group them in docs, then add a 4th info route to see the grouping work. Third, refactor those returns into Pydantic models, greeting and health, and watch docs light up with real response schemas. That last one is your sneak peek at Lesson 03. And that's a wrap on Lesson 02. You've got the decorator path function return pattern down, your dev server humming, the docs page mapped out, and all 4 main HTTP verbs in your toolkit. Next up in Lesson 03, we level up the return side into the receive side. Typed request bodies with Pydantic, where a single base model class gives you validation, automatic 422 errors, and a real schema in your docs for free. See you there.